So at the beginning of the season, when you were looking at the Green Bay Packers schedule, who they were going to have to face, when they were facing them, were they on the road? Were they at home? Looking at the complete schedule of the Green Bay Packers, it was not a pretty thing to look at when you were talking about the Packers having to face and start the season against Detroit and then Washington and then go on the road at Dallas. And who knows what that Dallas Cowboy team looks like from year to year, but we do know one thing, that they have a very good offense, and with newly acquired Pickens there and CeeDee Lamb and all the weapons that they have. And then you're looking at this Cincinnati game. Thankfully, you were saying to yourself, thankfully it's at Lambeau Field, because this is a very good offense. You're talking about one of the better offenses in the league with Joe Burrow and company. But then, you're coming out of this bye week and you're looking at the Green Bay Packers, needing a bye week in a desperate way. And it came at the right time because hopefully they've got some stuff cleaned up with their penalties, with special teams, and then getting injuries, getting guys back from injury, all that stuff. And then you're looking at a Cincinnati team that is now they're desperate, right? Because you made a trade with the Cleveland Browns to get an aged Joe Flacco in-house because you're desperate and you need a veteran presence there, and you're searching for something. And is Joe Flacco the right answer for the Cincinnati Bengal offense? Certainly not. It's not the right answer. Joe Flacco is not the quarterback he once was. We already saw that against the Cleveland Browns. But that, as Packer fans, for myself, I've learned that's something you can't look past. You can't look past a given game like the Cleveland Browns that I made the mistake of doing, and the Green Bay Packers come up with a loss. That last 3 minutes of the game did not look good. But if you're Joe Flacco, you're looking at this Green Bay Packer defense and Micah Parsons, and you're not overly pumped to get traded to the Cincinnati Bengals when you did and have to face a Green Bay Packer defense that hopefully is going to be much improved and much cleaned up after the bye week. Because if Flacco's looking at film the week prior against the Dallas Cowboys, he's not overly scared to face, Jeff Hafley's defense here. But I do think the Green Bay Packers are going to get back into the identity that they started out the season with against Detroit and Cincinnati. Again, I'm not taking any game for granted, but the Green Bay Packers get some great news ahead of the Cincinnati Bengals game. That is that they're going to be having to face Joe Flacco for a second time this season. But it doesn't just stop there with the good news. Coming out of the bye week and heading into, week 5, out there for the Green Bay Packers, they are much improved on offense. Teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, and there have been so many crazy, exciting games taking place throughout the week. And if you are super confident in that team or that player, DraftKings has got you covered. New customers, when you bet $5, you get 200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. So new customers turn $5 into $200 if your bet wins. It's paid instantly in bonus bets. New customers get $5, 200 in bonus bets, but you must include promo code ST Wisconsin when signing up. That is ST Wisconsin when signing up. Stay in the action and use your bonus bets on DraftKings same game parlays for a shot to win an even bigger payout. Why not make DraftKings Sportsbook a part of your week? The crown is yours. Okay, so one of the biggest things for them, one of the biggest areas of improvement that was needed for this Packer team heading into 2025 was drop rate. Okay, so we know that, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed were probably the two biggest culprits for drop passes last season, and the Green Bay Packers needed to certainly improve that, and they do. They did that by, going out and signing Matthew Golden in the first round, getting Savion Williams, guys that were going to push the wide receiver core to get better and to improve. And now you're looking at a Packer team that's number 1 in the league in drop percentage and drop, as far as drop percentage, drops, catchable passes, all of that stuff. The Green Bay Packers are number 1 in the league. That is great news. for us Packer fans out there. But it doesn't just stop there. When you're looking at this Packer offense, that it's improved from 8th to 4th in EPA play, and then 14th to 9th in success rate. The unit is both more explosive and more consistent in the pass game than it was last year. Okay, so Jordan Love had a little something to say about that, and so here's what Jordan Love had to say. He says, from an offensive standpoint, I just putting up points, I think that we've done a good, minus the Cleveland Browns game, which again, we just talked about that. There's a lot of stuff to keep building on, and it's just about the consistency, the details, trying to lock in on every play and just limit all of the negative plays, the penalties, giving the ball away, all that stuff. And that's certainly something that they're going to be working on and improving on. But Jordan Love also went on to say that, sure, I've gotten off to a great start. I think that's obviously, for me, it takes everybody on the offense to do that, blocking receivers, everybody making plays. There's still room to keep improving, keep trying to be consistent. I still think there's a couple of misses out there for me. Obviously, the turnover was a big one against the Cleveland game. Wish I could get that one back. And I love the humility by Jordan Love. And I want to talk about Jordan Love for a moment here, because Jordan has started out to such a great start to the season. In fact, when you're looking at just passer rating, Jordan Love right now in the league is 4th in passer rating. Okay, so at 113, behind Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, and then it goes Jordan Love, and then Josh Allen is behind him. But Jordan Love has had a great start to the season. When you're talking about touchdown to interception and turnover ratio, he's one of the better ones in the league. Again, one of the ones that's up there too is Lamar Jackson, who's right there. But when you're looking at just Jordan Love of last season, and how he wasn't able to protect the ball and take care of the ball. And a lot of times people were saying, okay, which Jordan Love can they expect out there? Because his rookie season, quote unquote, rookie season in the NFL as a starter, there wasn't a better quarterback the last 8 games of the season in the league. Patrick Mahomes, nobody was better than Jordan Love out there. And then he started the season against the Philadelphia Eagles, had that knee injury, and then he didn't look the same all season long. It was very up and down roller coaster type play out of Jordan Love. Nobody knew what to expect out of him, and of course, all eyes were on him coming into the season. And Jordan Love hasn't disappointed. He's got an overall PFF score of an 82.6. He's got 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's looking good. He's had to be mobile when he needed to be mobile. And Jordan Love is that guy that is certainly answering the call when called upon. And for us Packer fans, that's really encouraging news, especially when you're talking about the pass drop rate out there for the Packers. Much improved, the number 1 in the season, or number 1 in the league. Now, we're early on in the season. There's a lot of football to be played yet, but what better time than to be playing some really good football than coming out of your bye week right now to get back on track, back into the form of week 1 and 2 against Detroit and Washington, then against this Cincinnati team with Joe Flacco under center. I'm excited about it. Leave your comments, and as always, go Pack Go.